It's time for the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. Here with a load of laughs, info, and fun, it's Tony B, Dave B, and Timmy D.
Before I go alone. Don't ask me this and one more song. It ain't too costly, no, I ain't too cheap, so just relax. I'm on my knees.
Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen Podcast, episode number 129. My name is Tony B. In the studio on this frigid Saturday morning. But hey, it's going to be 50 by Monday, David B. Tuesday.
I can't wait.
Yeah, welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen. Timmy D is out this morning. The views of Ship's Gonna Happen are purely news-driven and done by transportation, right? Transportainment, I should say. That's why we do it. You can catch us on all the stations if you put us in a search engine, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Google Podcast. All you got to do is put Ship's Gonna Happen in there. David B., we got a good show this morning. We're going to have a UFO story update, and we're going to hit the 1988. But by the way, how are you this morning?
The producer of all producers, he is Producer Tony, and he does such a great job. It's good to be here on a Saturday morning, Producer Tony, on a snowy Saturday morning. I was white-knuckling it the entire way here. I'm like... Didn't expect it to be bad, but it kind of thawed out a little bit yesterday, and then it froze back over, and that made driving over here an extremely treacherous morning, but all good, safe and sound in the Ship's Gonna Happen studio on the 19th green. It's all white this morning. It's not green based because of the snow that we had. This show, along with all other shows, brought to you by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Great place to go after Ship's Gonna Happen week. Great place to go to unwind, hear some good music, get a great meal. And as I always say, chat it up with the locals. It's an awesome spot. Jen and her crew are there to take care of you. They do an excellent job. About ready to go through a 2-week shutdown coming up here, and going to do a full remodel. I'm anxious to see how things are going after that. I appreciate everything that they do. Our billboard is going to be back up soon if it's not already back up. You can find that on 65 South at exit mile. At mile marker about 99 on the east side of the interstate heading south. Appreciate them doing that for us. It's much appreciated. It definitely helps out. Great group, everybody at the Great Divide. Producer Tony, the most important question of the day is, how are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. So what are they actually renovating?
That's a great question, Divide? Producer Tony. I think a little bit of everything. You know, one of the things that the Great Divide has always kind of not done is ever had kind of a... You know, while they are a bar and a very awesome hole-in-the-wall bar, they've never really had that bar menu thing because they've never had fryers in their establishment. And I think part of this remodel is a kitchen remodel where they're going to put some fryers in where we can go in and get the food that neither one of us need to be eating, but we could be eating, you know, instead of getting when we should be ordering salads.
Yeah.
And we're not getting a salad. We're going to get some...
Not a salad bar.
I didn't build this temple off of salads.
Yeah.
So anyway, kind of, I think it's a little bit everything remodel. That wall that kind of divides the two rooms, it's still going to be there, but I'm not so sure if it's still going to be a complete wall. That bar, so those of you that have ever been or never been to the Great Divide, when you enter the bar area, there's a step down from the bar section into the room that's in that the bar is in. That floor is everything's all gonna be level now. It's gonna be one. It's gonna be one floor. They're gonna kind of remove that up step to the bar, and everything at one level, which is probably pretty convenient for those of us that might drink way too much.
That sounds like a good name of a bar. Everything at one level.
There we go. Yes.
Right.
Yes, at the wrong level. Everything at the wrong level or whatever. Yeah, that's an awesome idea, Producer Tony.
All right.
But yeah, I think just a full remodel, and I'm curious to see how that's going to work. And I mean, they already have a great clientele. It was packed in there last night. It was so good, such a diverse. And you and I have talked about this on numerous occasions, just the diversity of the crowd that comes in there. It's an awesome, diverse crowd, and that's the way it was last night. It was the All-Stars, I would say, were out, since it is All-Star weekend in Indianapolis. The All-Stars were definitely out last night at the Great Divide, and it was good to see everybody, and they took care of us, and we appreciate everything that they do for the Ships Gonna Happen podcast.
Yeah, and they're popular for their cakes. People come in and buy lots of cakes from them. They got a lot of good food items on the menu.
But bacon horseradish and everything. They do a really good job, and kind of in that right spot too. Where if you are out with somebody, or you are out and you have a driver, they have a nice, secure kind of parking area where nothing's going to happen to your
right
vehicle.
Across, yeah.
And if you choose to leave it there, if need be, which has happened to me numerous times, they have zero problems with that. Yep,
I'll be back tomorrow to get it.
I'm gonna Uber back down in the morning. Yeah. Ain't no way I'm driving home today.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But great spot. And
all they need is a mini hotel.
There is.
Imagine if they had a mini hotel
to your point, that neither one of us really know this, or nor have we talked about it. Yeah. There's legitimately a bed and breakfast right around the corner.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really something you think about. I mean, it's not anything I think about, but there's legit a bed and breakfast right around the corner.
That's hilarious.
So technically,
you could.
I have passed out in my truck there and woke up the next morning like, what?
Oh man, what the fuck? That was not Button. That was all David B.
Anyway,
that was not a button.
So good to see you this morning, producer.
You too,
Tony,
brother.
On this very, very cold and snowy. It was 14 degrees when I pulled up. So
it's going to be all right though.
Yep, we'll be good. If this is the worst that winter's going to bring us, it's going to be a good winter.
I didn't want to do that. Yeah, but it looks like it's going to go away pretty quick. Let me look this up real quick.
Okay.
It actually shows that
this is the weather portion of the Ship's Gonna Happen.
It's going to be 40 tomorrow.
All right.
46 Monday, 51 Tuesday, 56 Wednesday, 55 Thursday. So this snow will be gone Monday night.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
little light flurries right now.
And it's a lot of it.
It is. It's more than what I thought. I woke up from my nap yesterday and said, what the fuck? Because I didn't expect any of this. I guess I don't pay attention enough to know that it was going to snow and leave, this kind of deal. But I don't think it slowed down. I mean, in my opinion, I bet it's not slowed down the city. Indianapolis hosting All-Star Weekend this weekend. It looked like it was pretty hot.
Pretty packing. Yeah, it's a great place. I was watching something last week. Oh, it was the Super Bowl. So it was the Pat McAfee show.
Tony,
boom,
from 3.
So
nailed it.
Rich, Dan Patrick stopped by the studio there.
I like
and Dan Patrick's awesome.
I think Pat does a great job too.
Yeah, oh yeah. So then he asked Dan Patrick, this is a pretty good Super Bowl setup here in Vegas. And, of all the Super Bowls you've been involved in, what do you think about it? Dan Patrick said Indianapolis was the best he'd ever seen. He said the people, the crowd, the way they did it was just spectacular. Yeah. So he compared Vegas' setup to what the Colts had done.
Okay.
So what Indianapolis had done. I thought that was pretty cool because I loved going down there during that time. It was awesome.
Right. So we hit up downtown last night really early. They were closing Pennsylvania. They were closing quite a few streets from Washington Street down to South Street.
Wow, yeah.
So we got out of there at 5 p.m. So we got out of there just before 5 p.m.
Yeah.
But to your point, the set, you could tell the setup that they had and everything was flowing as fluidly as possible. And it wasn't an issue at all. Indy does an outstanding job at Final Four, hosting big events. They do a really, really good job.
Yeah. So point being, this is probably going to be similar on the basketball side, right? For being a spectacular event. It's a city that's not over congested. In and out's good. We've redone the interstate system. It's still some construction going on there, but it's confusing too. I tell you, it's really confusing.
Yeah, I think. Man, I don't want to get.
Or are we just getting too old?
I don't know. No, I don't think it's confused. I mean, yes, you're right. It can be confusing, but I think we live in a day and age, and we've talked about this off air probably more than what we should have. There's just people that do not pay attention to what they're doing when they're driving. If you pay attention and focus on what you're supposed to be doing, which is driving,
Yeah.
things will go. But most people are just used to, if I'm going to take 65 south, I need to be on the right-hand side or whatever instead of the left and blah, blah, blah. And when they get there, they're like, oh, poop, I need to be all the way on the other side.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I tell you, because I came a different way to meet you yesterday.
Okay.
I was confused.
Okay.
So I was looking at the maps, because they've changed all the directions, right? It's almost like, it's like California, where things are now merging from the left and over top of you and behind you and around you.
Mm-hmm.
And here in Indiana, it's just a little bit, we're not used to that. So, you get off. If you're going right, you think you're going north. Mm-hmm. It's just a natural compass in your head, right?
Great point.
And if you're going left, you're going south, coming from the east-west side. So you would, but now it's not that way. If you're on the right-hand lane, you're going south. If you're in the left-hand lane, you're going north.
So did it run you 69 to Binford? Is that what you kind of did? And that's maybe where the confusion was a little bit. I get where you're coming from.
Because they used to break off differently, right? You used to have to take 65 in Market Street and all that, and now they're separate, and they're opposite of where they were.
I got you.
And so really only 65 is where that sign is where it is.
Okay.
And so, but it's better. There's left. I think some of that traffic down there is just confusion. Like people, because you see people, I saw a guy in the far right-hand lane all of a sudden realize, oh crap, and
right.
I'm like, dude.
See, and that may just be worse, instead of just going through your motion. All right, I effed up. Let me fix it after. But when you try to fix your mess up, in the flow of traffic when everybody's whatever, then you're causing.
Well, I looked at the dude's license plates. He was from Pennsylvania. So I was assuming it was probably his first time through since all this reconstruction's gone on. And he's like, holy shit, I can't end up in Chicago.
Right.
He's like, dude, you can get off at the hospital down there, right? And turn around.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's good though. The state and city have spent a lot of money on redoing this. And I mean,
but they're not done yet. Are they?
Oh no, it's still going. It's going to go on probably another 5-10 years, right?
And start all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always seems like that northeast quadrant, or that northeast, not quadrant, but that northeast section, Castleton, 69, 465. It always seems like
it is. Yeah.
I completely try to avoid.
I know.
Even like this morning, I just come through downtown.
I have to go through it a lot, and it's frustrating. It can cost you if you're going to go north to Kokomo area, you have to be through it by 8:30. I mean, you have to leave early or you'll be in it for an hour. And it's just, and so they've changed that now. So where 69 going north is now, so there's a single lane. You think you're avoiding all the construction. You're not. They got that cut off all the way to 31.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Carmel exit. And then you had the other lanes blocked down into 2 lanes going north, and then oh wait, 69's over here, and now they've got that isolated off. So if you get caught in that and don't get out of it in time, you're not getting over. So you see people like, oh man, and they're stuck on 69. So but how do you do it if you're the city or state? You got to get it done. I mean, there's going to be,
is it a mess all the way to the Ruoff exit, or is it
past that?
Oh,
yeah, Allisonville Road, it starts to break up. Or Allisonville Road, Carmel starts to break up, but it gets really nasty through there. And then you get a breakdown in that single lane. One time I took the single lane and there was a breakdown. You're done, dude. You're done. I mean, it was backed up all the way to Fort Bend to Allisonville Road.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and then you just see you got out because you thought you got in it because you thought it was the express lane. And then you look to the right and people are laughing at you.
Yeah, as they should. It's a little bit of karma right there. Like he'll get his in the end.
So I never take it anymore. I make a matter of fact to not take it. No. And there's always that urge. Oh, it looks like it's going smooth. No, don't do it. And then I'll see a car broke down or it's up to the head. And it's bad. And then sometimes they have it blocked off. So I don't understand it, but can't wait for it to be done.
Yeah, well,
but you're right. That area will be always, I think, be kind of them, unless they build something that just goes over top everything, right?
I just don't see why they don't and maybe they do, and we've talked about this in the past, why you just don't have the wherewithal or the forethought to think like we're building this or we're doing this construction based off of X amount of years in the future, where, all right, it's this way now, it's going to get worse probably.
Right.
Why don't we just construct it this way now?
Yeah, I know.
That's
a whole history there. We should talk about it sometimes, because they moved to downtown right before, like early on.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Indianapolis never expected the growth it got.
But it's still, I'm coming from the north and west side.
It's even busier there too, man. You got 4 lanes each way.
Like they put that brand new exit, the 131. I think it's right there, and it just doesn't. It automatically, I'm like, that's not big enough. But maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Am I the one that's wrong? Maybe
that place has exploded.
That's what I mean. It's already
exploded.
Yeah, it's already huge now.
Yeah,
why? I'm like,
it's a metropolis, is what it is.
Fisher's West is what I.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? That's a good description of it, because that's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be big. It'll probably end up bigger than that.
I could get to back in my day, and when I got out of high school, I could from Lebanon to Zionsville in 10 minutes without speeding. Speed limit 65 miles an hour on 65. Leave my job, go to my part-time job in 10 minutes, and not even try to get there in 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes, I'm there. I can't get out of Lebanon in 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And it's a minimum of a half an hour.
God.
Minimum
if you get
of a half
caught
hour
downtown Lebanon, try to go back to the interstate. Oh my God, your best bet to take the back way.
Jesus, how did Dave even show up this morning?
Oh my God.
And he shouldn't. I should still be stuck in traffic in Lebanon, probably. But I got out.
Indiana.
Barely.
The hometown of David B. Well, brother, I got an interesting topic.
Let's hit it.
We're gonna hit it.
Curious to hear what this is about in this frigid Saturday morning. It is the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast,
episode 129.
Appreciate everybody listening.
All right, so we talk about UFOs every once in a while.
Yes, sir.
You remember that story way back? I think it was in the summer, where the Peruvian government brought out these little aliens to the Mexican Congress and said, "Hey, man, this is legit," right?
It was,
Well, I was excited. We're not like for UFOs, and we ain't against them, are we?
No.
It's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they've done the DNA testing.
Okay.
Are you excited about this?
Very.
Well, this story is coming from, I'm going to say his name, Rishikesh.
Great job.
Rajagopalan.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. January 12th, 2024. I missed this one, but there was a little update on the story yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So they found these aliens. They brought them out. They're like, "Oh man, these are aliens." And there's these little tiny aliens, and they look really cute and stuff. And I was hoping, man, I hope it's true. Wait, it's great. It's great. And then, so they've done the DNA test, and David, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They are not aliens. Yeah.
What a surprise.
They are not aliens, David.
What?
Yeah, they are not. David B. Just play them both together.
Sounds good.
They were actually put together by glue and other animal bones and put in a cast and kind of made to look old and they're not aliens. Shockingly. So there's a little update to the Mexican Congress. Again, a little upset about it. They're like, "Hey, we got played.
Don't waste our time." Yeah.
And then you wonder why. Why would you allow it? Why would you allow them to be brought in front of your Congress? But it reminded me of our Congress, right? Of bringing on these people claiming they're, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you can't believe everything that's brought to Congress. So there's your update. They claimed they were 700 years old. About 7 years old, David.
Put together with glue and animal bones.
Yeah. So the story, you can catch it at CBS News. It's aliens found in Peru are actually dolls made of bones. Forensic experts declare. Party's over. They were not aliens.
What?
Yeah. So I reached out to a couple ladies that have hotspots listed throughout the U.S. where there
In
are.
Indiana, you mean? Or-
They're in Indiana. There's a couple hotspots in Indiana, but they also have some. The main story is about Indiana, but they have some They have some issues and not issues. They have some incidents where they've around the nation where there might be hotspots to see them. So I reached out to them. We'll get that set up and hear what they have to say about this, and hopefully maybe.
Do they seem interested? Or
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, and they wrote a book that's actually for sale on Amazon about it. I think it's called UFOs in Indiana. They're part of the MUFON organization, which is I don't know, I forget what that stands for, but
I was going to ask you.
It's let me see here. I could tell us what MUFON stands for.
Almost seems like it's a profanity.
I know.
MUFON.
I think it's mutually MUFON. MUFON. UFO. There we go.
Gotta put my MUFON.
At the Mutual UFO Network. That's what it is. Mutual UFO Network.
All right.
I didn't know there was a network.
Oh.
You could become a field investigator. It's not paid, but you can become a field.
This is not paid, so
yeah, you might make more money.
Yeah.
Talk to your state. Yeah, there's a whole thing about it. You could become a member. Anyway, so that's so we're always kind of trying to look for the latest, greatest on the UFO scene.
Does the MUFON Network want a
sponsor?
D-rated podcast, D-rated at best podcast or whatever on a Saturday morning or whatever?
Oh yeah, probably.
We tend to from time to time mix alcohol or the after effects of alcohol.
They would
Saturday
take that.
Morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they would. They would probably be all over that.
The top rated on the MUFON Network.
The top rated MUFON insiders, David B and Tony B.
Yeah, the MUFON podcast.
Yeah.
Of all MUFON podcasts.
This is a MUFON event. Get your MUFON going.
Get your MUFON.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's a little update, David B.
Okay.
You want to hit the?
So we're gonna roll into the Reckless Club.
Yeah, rolling into.
We are lame as lame could be on this Saturday morning, and came unprepared as a normal. That's just kind of normal for us. We call this a spitball Saturday, where we're just spitballing.
Balls of spit.
Spitballing versus doing anything else. And on the Reckless Club this week, we are at the year of all years. The year I graduated high school from the prestigious Clinton Prairie High School in rural Clinton County, Indiana, 1988. And what a year that is. If you look at that music, you know, you kind of, we talk about this every week, that these years make us feel old. And while I feel in my head that 1988 was literally just yesterday or not that long ago, it's 35 years ago, and we're now 36 years ago.
It's a long time ago.
It is.
It's 3 decades.
It is. On January the 20th of that year, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted an excellent class, or what I would perceive to be an excellent class of inductees into the Hall of Fame that included the Beach Boys, the Beatles, the Drifters, Bob Dylan, and the Supremes. That's a hell of a lineup right there, producer Tony. You're not going wrong at all with anybody.
No,
with anybody in that class. That's definitely an awesome class of people. On March the 2nd, the 30th annual Grammy Awards were held. So I kind of, when I read that, I'm like, wow, the Grammys had been around for 30 years already. In 1988, I just didn't kind of associate that. And then on April the 7th of 1988, Alice Cooper almost dies on stage when one of his props had fallen on him.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Alice Cooper. That's a
School's Out for Summer.
Yeah, what an epic song.
He's playing at the Ruoff this year.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
So you've said, when we met for lunch the other day, you said the kind of the newer lineup for Ruoff is out, and you said it's pretty good to take a look at. I haven't taken a look yet.
Oh yeah, so. it's a big. Looks like they've got a great group of band started already, so it'll fill up more. But yeah, he's on there, Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. On June the 18th, June the 18th of 1988, Depeche Mode played in front of 60,000 people in Los Angeles. And I was a Depeche Mode guy. I like Depeche Mode from back in the day. You don't really hear much about them at all anymore.
No, they were
but
crashed onto the scene pretty heavy, didn't they?
Yeah. On July the 2nd, Michael Jackson, with his first single from the Bad album, which was Dirty Diana, broke his consecutive charting singles from the same album, from the coming in the top 10. Yeah, so that single, what I'm getting at, I guess, with that single didn't crack the top 10, and broke his consecutive streak of singles that he had put out, that had cracked into the top 10. So anyway,
good.
That's a crappy
story. I never liked him.
Let's see here. Public Enemy. I love Public Enemy. August 12th, Public Enemy. There's no, in my opinion only, there's no better voice. Chuck D, his voice was just, you could understand every word that guy's saying. Mm-hmm. There's no slurring whatevers. He just has that excellent singing voice where you're understanding every word that's coming out of that guy's mouth. I think Chuck D is a heck of a front man or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Words. On December in unfortunate news, on December the 4th of 1988, Roy Orbison performs his last concert in beautiful Akron, Ohio. Soon after that, he had passed away of a heart attack in that year. So
a complete legend, man.
Yeah,
Roy Orbison,
definitely 100% sure. So that's pretty much everything that I have for the news of 1988, and then we're gonna switch over to take a look at the Hot 100, the Billboard. This is according to Billboard magazine, the top 100 songs from 1988, and coming in at year end, I would say one of my favorite, extremely underrated artists, in my opinion, of all time, gone way too soon. And number one, George Michael, the song Faith. I was a huge George Michael fan. I just thought he was extremely talented, did an awesome job. And again, gone way too soon. And number two, In Excess, Need You Tonight. All these songs are kind of resonating from high school.
These are end of the year, right?
Yes, sir. Year end. Hot 100, according again to Billboard.
Billboard, yeah.
Not the Reckless Club, but according to Billboard or whatever. And so
we should have our own list.
Yes, it would be quite different, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses coming in at number 5. Yeah,
that'd be my number 1.
Again, we talked about this last week when we kind of covered 1987. Whitney Houston, strong in the year 1988 with numerous. The first one being at number 6 with So Emotional. That's pretty good. So very talented young woman. Again, gone way too soon. Go through here. Belinda Carlisle with her solo project. Heaven is a Place on Earth. That song actually was on the radio coming over. So, it was a good song. Still resonates today. Again, George Michael a little bit further down, coming in at number 11. One More Try. I don't remember that song at all. Doesn't register with me. Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, number 10 was big. Roll With It, Stevie Winwood.
Yeah,
I heard that all the time.
Oh yeah, yep.
Great writer too of music.
Cheap Trick still making an
that
appearance.
Was huge. The Flame. Mm-hmm. That's like their last, I think, top hit.
Okay, yeah, and they're still
touring, getting around. Oh yeah, it's Cheap Trick.
Are they a Chicago band?
Oh yeah,
okay,
total Chicago band. Cheap Trick is as popular in Japan as the Beatles.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Google it. They were so beloved in Japan. Total sellout. They would do 2-3 night shows there. They were, I don't know why that is, but they were huge. They did a live recording of a Cheap Trick at Budokan.
Okay.
And that album was Cheap Trick's biggest album.
Put your Budokan.
Yep. And then since I think they recorded it in Japan and stuff, it was such a huge hit.
Okay.
Yeah. Paul McCartney was popular there too.
Right.
But
right.
Surprisingly.
Right.
Love me some Cheap Trick. I think they're still on. They do smaller venues now too. They would be
which is
one that would
my
come to White
venue.
River.
Okay.
They would be one that would do an event like that. But they've also been at. I don't think I ever saw them at the Raw. No, where did I see them at? It was at a smaller venue, and it was packed. But they still do them.
Do you
They're
like
still out there.
Do you like the small venues, or do you prefer the bigger venues?
It depends on who's there. You know,
Okay.
typically if you go to a smaller venue, you're going to see an older star that's maybe not. Well, you say that,
or
but,
up and coming, right?
or up and coming. Mellencamp does. He could probably fill out a stadium, but he prefers to do the smaller venues, like the auditoriums, and it sounds great.
So does the name probably maybe not resonate with you? Does the name Lucy Dacus ring a bell to you at all, or is that a name? So she's up and coming. She was or just is recently been part of the rock group Boy Genius, which was huge, and I think they've since they won like the Grammys this year.
Really?
They just took a ton of awards.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I saw her up and coming through Indianapolis at Hi-Fi, right across the street.
Oh, really?
From Square Cat.
Yeah, no kidding.
Phenomenal.
You saw her there?
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And a solo act, she was, and you at least the sense I got watching this, I'm like, she's up.
You saw her before this.
Pre-COVID,
wow.
so it was pre-COVID.
Wow.
So yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm like, she's gonna go places. Sure as
That's
enough.
awesome.
Sure enough, she did.
Yeah.
So my point, while you're correctly mentioning that, the smaller venues are a good place to maybe see, and I'm not using this term as a derogatory term, but a has been or an up and coming person. And and has been isn't fair. That's not,
Well, you got, like I said, you got people like Mellencamp that prefers to do the smaller venues, right?
Okay.
And look, I saw him at Farm Aid. He sounded the same as he did at the auditorium.
Have you ever have you ever been to the Mousetrap to see a band?
No, I've heard of it though. No,
I haven't either. But at the end of April, we're going there to see a band called Jocelyn and crud. I don't remember the full name of the band, but you can tell too by watching them that that's going to be they're going to be an up and coming,
right?
And her voice just resonates. Jocelyn and darn it, I can't remember. But anyway, I'm excited.
Look it up.
I've never been to the Mousetrap, and I think that would be a good small venue to see an up and coming artist. I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but coming in the upper teens at definitely a song that resonates with me or caps off when I would, my senior year in high school was at number 19, Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. That was definitely
huge song.
That was huge, wasn't it? I mean,
huge.
As soon as that beat, that beat starts with the song, you're just like, that's Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard.
They were a total girl band. Or they weren't, but the girls liked them. I know
what you mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
What about this one though? Because I was in the military at this time.
Okay.
I was in cryptographic school and A school and all that. So Trent Darby, dude.
Is that Wishing Well?
Yeah. All right. That was a good one.
That's up there. That's probably in the single digits, isn't it? As far as
it's number 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot on here, but Wishing Well, Kiss and Tell. Oh, yeah, dude. That was a happening song at the club bass. Bam, bam.
It's a good thing we have day jobs.
Yeah, I know.
We wouldn't cut it doing anything other than our day jobs.
Get out of my dreams. Mm-hmm. Get into my car. That's a good one, too. I like me some Billy Ocean back in the day.
Yeah. All right.
Ghostbusters, right? All the Ghostbuster movies.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Expose, I don't know that one. Season Change. Do you know that song?
Yeah, it's a slow. That rings a bell.
Is it an American band or is that
Girl?
Okay,
okay.
I'll have to look that one up.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, and Simply Irresistible. Robert Palmer.
Simply Irresistible. Yeah, good one. But White Snake, is this love?
Yeah. I mean, I always will think of White Snake with Tawny Katane being on the head of the car and withering around. Different song, but yeah.
I always think of when I think of David Coverdale, I always think of Deep Purple. because I
Okay.
think he was in that band, and that was one of the first bands I was exposed to as a youngster,
Mm-hmm.
and they were a little scary
Okay.
because it was some heavy stuff.
Okay.
And you're like 12 years old, and you're like, what?
Mm-hmm. Growing up, to your point with that, growing up, there were some things that were put out there that kind of maybe like Wizard of Oz scared the poop out of me.
Yeah.
I'd sleep with my head under the covers. And I'm dead serious. That movie scared the crap. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a kid's one.
I know. We had to watch that when we were
scared
young.
me.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
like it.
There's a few other things too
Yeah.
back in the day that were a little haunting or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if I thought about it long enough, I can come up with more. But I'm like, well, you know,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is definitely for sure. Debbie Gibson was huge in 1988. She's got a couple of songs on here. First one coming in at number 22, "Shake Your Love." I remember that.
Man in the
song.
Mirror. That probably is
Michael
my
Jackson.
favorite Michael Jackson song
Yeah.
at number 21.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good video too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael Jackson, Indiana's Own.
Right.
Indiana's
Simply Irresistible though, like 23, man, that was huge.
Okay. Yeah.
Video was huge.
Oh,
Wasn't
it
that
was.
girls in the background?
I want to say so, but I
getting
think I'm
mixed up
thinking
with
of the
Peter-
wrong.
I'm too.
Exactly, the artist is the right artist, but I think it's just I'm not so sure that was exactly that song.
Yeah.
You're not
We're blending them together.
something
Yeah.
maybe, but it could be. I just don't know that,
Yeah.
that for sure that was that exact song. Samantha Fox, "Naughty Girls." Yep, I remember that. So,
Oh yeah, it was huge.
Yep,
Naughty.
yep. Again, Def Leppard at another song at number
It's a good
30.
year for music.
Love Bites. Yeah, it was really. I mean, I felt like last week, maybe not so much when we were talking 1987,
That
but
was
it looks like 88 kind of maybe is making up for it. Too.
Yeah, it looks like it's a good blend of music. You can see like this is pre-grunge, right?
Very like yes.
It's coming around the corner right
Mhm.
here. So you can see like
Excellent.
it's starting to kind of hang in, starting to come in a little bit, like Guns N' Roses, right? Sweet
Oh.
Child of Mine. That wouldn't be grunge, but that's a different type of rock.
right.
And yeah, you can see it blend. And then you go from that to Hungry Eyes, right? So you
Uh-huh.
can still see the 80s and 70s trying to hold on. Ooh. And it's doing fine, right? And then even Phil Collins, A Groovy Kind of Love is kind of getting into, doesn't know where it's all ending, right? Headed
Yeah.
to Aerosmith, Angel,
Mhm.
right?
That's a band I never really.
You never really liked them?
But they're okay. But
Yeah.
maybe what I should say is just never really did much for me. Like yeah, okay, it's just not. Yeah,
You know what people from England call them?
No.
The poor man's Stones,
Okay.
because they kind of got a little genre that they're in, you know, their sound's a little unique, and they're the poor man's Stones. So they're America's version of the Rolling Stones is what.
Hmm.
And if and Steven Tyler,
Yeah.
kind of does a stage act like Mick a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing wrong with it. They're
Yeah,
a good band,
yeah.
but I thought that when I heard that, and I heard that when I was in the military, some guy said
Okay.
that. I was like, you know what? That's true.
Yeah, definitely. One of the songs that when it gets in your head, it's really tough to get out of your head, and it's definitely an ear. Do they call that an eargasm, or what do they call that? Because I just not so sure I like this song at all. Bobby McFerrin, "Don't Worry, Be Happy," coming in at what number is that? Producer Tony,
That's
number
a
37.
That'd be on like one of your NPR shows coming in the background. Don't worry.
So let's discuss
Be
that.
happy.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's discuss that. I have found, and I legitimately mean this, I have found numerous musical artists by their music being the outro or the intro in an NPR show. The Budos Band, if none of you have ever listened to the Budos Band, I highly recommend that you listen to the Budos Band. They're an all-instrumental band and an excellent instrumental band out of, I think, Washington, I think Seattle. I could be wrong, but they're an outstanding band. They do Beastie Boys. There's some Beastie Boys that they intro and outro on NPR shows and stuff. I've found quite a lot of music. NPR has Tiny Desk. They do some other things. It's not a bad spot to up and coming. Lucy Dacus. Lucy Dacus has been on Tiny Desk. To your point, that's a pretty good. I would consider NPR a kind of maybe a small platform for music. They have a show during the week, World Cafe, that Raina Duras hosts. I've never listened to her her voice is probably one of the most iconic. It just has that sound where she should be a DJ, at a top record. She's extremely intelligent and just has that voice. It's just, you're like, that's an awesome, awesome radio voice. We have faces for radio. And her
You
voice.
got Tracy Chapman coming in at 77, man.
Is that Fast
76,
Car?
yeah, that's huge.
Is that the song Fast Car?
Yeah.
That's still, I mean,
It probably helped, was on the charts in 89, I would think too.
okay. Yeah, you would think that
Seems
would be a little
low.
higher. Yeah, wouldn't you?
But I think it depends on when it came out though, because this is the end of the year, right? So
it is. Yeah. Again, this is the Billboard Hot
Yeah.
100 year ending.
Joan Jett and the Black Hearts, I hate myself for loving you. Wow. Van Halen, when it's love.
Yeah, we talked about that kind of Thursday that I happened to.
You liked Roth better, right?
I don't know. I don't know that I
Oh,
did.
did we say that or no?
I don't know that I did. I don't know that
yeah, maybe you did.
But I don't. I think at the time I don't know that I cared, and I don't know that
Yeah.
I still. Maybe I still don't care.
Man, yeah.
But he hosts or did host a podcast, and he is extremely. He's well-spoken. He's a well-spoken, and I'd never listened to him before. This past week, I just kind of found it, and I am like, I kind of like.
Oh,
this,
you were
because
you were telling
he's
about that, yeah.
well-spoken.
He's
Not
a smart
necessarily,
dude.
not necessarily what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's how he says it. And I think he's very intelligent. Also, where in the '80s, you might kind of
Just an odd guy.
look. Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might look at this like it's kind of weird or whatever, but then when you listen to him talk, you're like, all right.
Right.
I get this.
Yeah.
He's just very articulate, and like you had said, he seems to be extremely intelligent. So
I think he did really well in school and came from a
his
smart
dad
background.
his dad was a doctor. Again, Indiana's very own
David Lee Roth, Bloomington, Indiana, right?
Born in Bloomington, yes, sir. Yes,
But-
sir. His
but-
dad was a doctor. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but he has a hit here when they broke up because What Is Love was Sammy Hagar, right? And then he Just Like Paradise is number 97, right? Just Like Paradise. I mean, he had some good hits there.
Yeah, that is David Lee Roth. You're right. Yeah.
What he did for Van Halen, I think they'll never appreciate, because what he did do with Van Halen, I think what David Lee Roth brought to them was a visual. They weren't visual. They were all musically inclined, and he was a visual person, and he added to the videos.
Okay.
He added to their stage performance, right?
Okay.
And because when you watch Sammy in those videos, it wasn't like they were still good, because I'll be honest with you, like Sammy better. So, but I don't dislike David Lee Roth, but I can see the distinct difference in those bands musically and
Sure.
visually.
Mhm.
So, and then you go look at David Lee Roth's videos that he did on his own, where it's always the models around him. One of the ones when he walks in and he goes, "Give me a bottle of vodka."
California Girl.
Yeah, so he was pretty creative, man.
When
Yeah.
one of the podcasts that he had on, and when I normally listen to these at work, I'll just put an earbud in and hit start and just listen as I'm working. It was Eddie, Alex, and Dave, and they were sitting as you and I, like there would be the third seat right here, and they were just having a
Hold it, wait. He had him on his podcast. Really?
And it was a conversation just like the two of us are having right now,
Yeah.
about anything and everything and this and that, and it was extremely riveting. It brought you in, and again, as I mentioned earlier, it gives you a different perspective on them as people, because you don't know them as people,
Right.
You know them as artists. It gives you, whether you like their perspective or not isn't relative. It's that it gave you a different perspective of those
Right.
people. And it was like a 3-hour, and I listened to the entire podcast.
Wow.
I mean, it had
I'll have
me
to check that out.
It had me riveted. It gave you a different perspective of Eddie. It gave you a different perspective of Alex. All three of them, it just was well done, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, if they're all four sitting down on a podcast, and what's funny is, because I've always wondered if this David Lee Roth, Van Halen confrontations are all the time going on.
I don't know that there was. I didn't sense that.
Well, I think it's all to generate interest in them. It doesn't do anything negative for them. So I think it creates more popularity between them, because Sammy's always talking negative about David. David's always talking about negative about Sammy. But really, at the end of the day, I think they're probably friends.
And he mentioned there was some different. It's funny you mentioned that. There was a different one of the other episodes where he goes, I haven't mentioned this gentleman's name in 11 years. It hasn't even came out of my mouth. And it was something to do. And he goes, something Sammy. It was something whatever. His outlook on it was different, and my outlook on it was different. We just approached it in two different ways. He goes, I have no ill will at all about Sammy Hagar. I have no ill will. And one of the videos, look, I would recommend right now, producer Tony, on your YouTube, look up David Lee Roth and What You See. Type in David Lee Roth and then What You See. It's a video of him dancing to this song, and his dance move. He is almost 70, or he'll be 70.
Oh yeah, I've seen this before.
You have seen it.
Yes.
Is that not? Am I missing it, or is that not riveting?
No,
is that's
not my point.
Captivating.
That's
I
my
guess
point.
Is the word I'm looking for.
No, that goes to my point of him being the visual. The stage presence he had, because he did stuff like that.
Do you like that or no? Do you like that?
Well, yeah, one of the best videos of all time is Ice Cream Man.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to be, and he's moving down like that with the card. Yeah, it was a great. California Girls is a great video.
Yeah, you're right.
Not just because there's pretty women in it, but because it's aesthetically pleasing, right?
Do you think
from a Midwestern boy?
Do you think anybody listens to this podcast because there's pretty guys that do it?
Yeah,
right. Probably not. Just saying.
But maybe pretty voices. Ooh. Hi, David B. Yeah. But yeah, I see it here. Yeah, it's he did that type of stuff in some of those videos. But it is amazing to be 70 years old, and
the way he fluidly moves. Yeah, he moves to the music almost to a T, almost to the beat. Moves fluidly in that video. And it's captivating,
right? And the reason he can do that is because he never did drugs. He never was
Can you say that he was straight laced or no?
I think he was straight laced. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
was he?
Oh yeah, he didn't. He wasn't. So you would get this because when you look at the two Van Halens, you would get the vision of a hard driving, hard rocking, partying Van Halen with David Lee Roth, right? Because just their stage presence, right? Sammy Hagar parties more than David Lee Roth. Okay. Right. And you got the softer image with Van Halen, with Sammy Hagar, which both the lead singers were different in kind of the way they went about stuff outside. Not that Sammy Hagar was a bad person, but party. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't make us bad, does it?
No, not at all. But I don't see Sammy Hagar dancing like that. You know what I mean? Right. So, but I mean, he was and I think he was in martial arts. David Lee Roth was in martial arts.
That's fair to say. I mean, the way he moves on stage, and even in that video that you have up there, I wouldn't mess with him. I wouldn't know.
Jerry Rice.
Okay.
Not the fastest runner in the world, but ran the best routes in NFL history. Mm-hmm. Like even Deion Sanders will tell you, who was one of the fastest dudes. He was hard to defend, and not being the fastest guy. Well, one of his key secrets was he took ballet. And he danced, and it made his footwork, I guess would be the right word, made his footwork more precise.
If you put a tutu on, Tony, could I look under your tutu?
No, that'd be weird.
Oh, no.
But he claims that that's what, and a lot of receivers do that. Take dance or ballet for balance and things, because those little subtle steps. Right.
And when you're kind of going to juke someone.
Yeah, man. I mean, in the Jerry Rice, you could go back and watch his videos, and these guys would stay off of him because they were, he wasn't the fastest guy. Mm-hmm. And, he could catch a pass and maybe someone could catch up to him. But the way he moved was precise and like a ballet dancer would if they were a receiver. But interesting stuff, though. David Lee Roth, man, at 70 dancing. That's crazy.
And also, and when you listen to him now, he still has it. He still has that mental capacity. Whether you agree with what he's saying or you don't, it's that his mental capacity is just sharp. Extremely sharp as a tack.
He'll probably outlive all those guys. He already has one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in good shape.
And in at number 100, and I'm not afraid to admit this at all, at this time, one of the most beautiful women, and still may be one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, Taylor Dayne. absolutely was just a smoke show in that time. Just a flippin' beautiful woman, had an excellent voice, kind of that raspy.
I didn't know her.
Oh, dude, she was. If you look at her, if you're looking at her now, or if you're looking at images of her now, yeah.
Oh, okay,
she
there it
was
is. Yeah.
Just a effing smoke
I didn't
show.
know that.
Oh, or at least on my opinion, she was. My opinion, my
Okay.
my opinion can be a little different than.
That was Taylor Dane?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is she not attractive, or am I missing?
Well, I was listening. I didn't know the song. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
wow, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
song.
she was definitely a beautiful
Every
woman.
beat of my heart.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Huh.
definitely. So, yeah, we kind of love. So, looking through some other.
Well, here's a big one right here, dude.
Are you looking at 42? Is that what you're looking at?
No, I was looking at 92 first.
Okay, all right. Let's go to 92. The 92nd song, according to Billboard magazine in 1988. I like that. Yes, definitely.
That is it's probably my favorite song.
Yeah, it's got a great.
It's an actual place.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Where?
It's outside the downtown area. I don't know if it's still called that, but yeah, it was actually a place. He wrote it He wrote it outside the Cherry Bomb.
Cherry Bomb by Mellencamp.
Yeah.
92.
Let me look it up. I
All
think it's
right.
still a bar. Yeah.
All right.
Let me see here.
In all of my years, when I seem to be or could be the aficionado of spots in Indy, but maybe not. I don't. Doesn't ring a bell, actually.
You ever been down there?
No. Doesn't ring a bell.
Here we go. Yeah, I know I read this story before. Yeah, it's a song about, let's see.
So you are listening to the Reckless Club.
It was released, second single, John Mellencamp's 9th studio album.
Which album? I'm sorry. What was the name of the album? Does it say or no?
Lonesome Jubilee.
Okay. All right.
Well, it doesn't give a lot of things here, but yeah, outside the Cherry Bomb. Let me look it up and see if it was actually. There we go.
You're listening to the Reckless Club podcast, the music of 1988. Bringing back some good memories this morning on a Saturday morning. All-Star weekend in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is an all-star city. At least we feel that it is. We're a bit of homers with that, but an excellent all-star weekend. Looking up the music of 1988, John Mellencamp's Cherry Bomb.
Maybe it's not. I'll have to get that story straight.
Okay.
I don't have time to go through it right now, but outside the Cherry Bomb. I knew a customer down there that went to high school with his sister. And when you listen to the words, he doesn't say Indiana, but it's I believe it's about the Cherry Bomb Bar in Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And it's not popping up, so I might have the story a little bit.
Not in Seymour, but in Bloomington.
Yeah, it would be in Bloomington. Well,
okay.
Cherry Bomb Bar, Indiana. Let me see what that says. Oh, there's a Cherry Bomb at Fort Wayne.
Of course there is.
It's a nostalgic song that reflects John Mellencamp's teenage years. Oh, okay, here we go. Cherry Bomb is a nostalgic song that reflects on Mellencamp's teenage years hanging out at the Last Exit Teen Club in Seymour. So it was not called the Cherry Bomb, apparently. So, but anyways, that's what it was about. So about that Last Exit Teenage Club Bar. So anyways, but that's a great song. I remember being in the military and that song came up, and you guys in Indiana probably heard a lot of Mellencamp, like I heard a lot of the Chicago bands, and you would get tired of hearing them. But I would hear Mellencamp in Chicago and liked them back then. So yeah, it was a great song.
I wouldn't say I dislike him, but I would say that, I mean, to your point with that it's an oversaturated. You're like, oh, geez, another Mellencamp song.
Oh yeah, I bet you guys were just wore out with him because he was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Indiana's had some incredible musicians, actually, when you think about it. right? Produced a lot of big ones
100%. Yeah.
for a state with the population we have.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of something when I was in the military in 1988. I thought I heard a
Is Michael Jackson the biggest artist ever from Indiana?
probably would have to be.
Biggest as in sales, I guess, and singles, or is Janet? I don't know who's. I don't know.
Probably, I would think. Yeah, by far, I would think the most albums ever sold. I mean, geez, she's got to be. You got famous actors from here, actresses,
Right.
But anyways, that's a good listen. And then the 1988 would be. I'm not even gonna look it up. 1988 would be. Who won the Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't even. I want to say the Niners. I want to say the Niners, but
I think it was. I think they would have played the Bengals.
really,
Bengals. It would be. Would it be Boomer Esiason? We'll look it up.
Would be.
Our Boomer was with the Jets too, right?
God, I can't type.
1988 Super Bowl. Super Bowl. What?
No.
Was it Redskins?
Well,
What?
it says here the Commanders, but Broncos and Redskins.
Oh, well, we know who won that. The Redskins, right?
I'll be darned.
Is that right?
Yeah, 42-10.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Interesting.
Wait a minute. Yeah, because Doug Williams was their quarterback. He was the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
Would not have guessed that.
He was a really good quarterback, too.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time at Tampa Bay getting his butt banged up.
We're going back to the list of the Hot 100 or the Billboard 100 of 1988. Coming in at number 42, the city of all cities with the terminal of all terminals, Kokomo.
Kokomo, the Beach Boys.
Again, that song kind of just got overplayed, and you're like, just turn that crap off.
Well, when you're 70 years old, the band is 70 years old. I mean,
and having a Billboard Hot 100 in 88, you're like,
that's pretty good, though, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, did you like the Beach Boys? No.
They didn't do anything. I wouldn't say I disliked them. I just
They're gonna be playing. They're on tour, I believe.
I think I might miss that.
They're gonna be at Live Nation.
I think I'm busy that day.
I think I'm gonna go to it. I'm gonna go to it and sing some Wish they all could be California girls.
I don't want to turn this into a
July 6th, Beach Boys, Saturday.
I don't want to turn this into a.
Oh wait, it's at White River.
Who are they with?
Just says that I'm sure they will pack that place.
Okay.
Tickets. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Would we be the youngest people there if we went? Or
I think it's going to be similar to like if Led Zeppelin, The Who, if they come out, it's going to be, you're going to see everything, David, from 16 to 90.
Okay.
That's what I saw at The Who, man. It was shocking. I was like, wow, this is the most diverse crowd I've ever been. And I saw the Beach Boys at the Taste of Chicago when I was a kid. And, me being 16, 17, I knew who they were. They're still relevant in the rock genre historically, right?
Okay.
So they did some things in the 60s that helped change and spin music in a different direction. So
number 49, another at the time I would consider, and I hate to turn this show into this, but another smoke show, Kylie Minogue, The Locomotion. She was
it's a remake, right?
Yeah.
I think I'd take the original remake song, but
right. There are some in the history though.
She's from Melbourne, Australia.
there are some in the history of music. There are some instances where the remake is far better than the original.
Sometimes,
So yeah, I would right off the top of my head, I would take Alien Ant Farm's version of Smooth Criminal over Michael Jackson's version any day. It's me though. That's completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely some history of remakes that I think that are better than the original. So not having too many more off the top of my head, but there are a few.
Oh, here you go. Nirvana, The Man Who Sold the World.
Okay.
Their cover of David Bowie's was more popular.
Okay.
Dolly Parton wrote "I Will Always Love You." Whitney Houston's version.
She smacked that out of the park.
Far superseded that.
Out of the park.
Adele's cover of "Make You Feel My Love" was written by Bob Dylan. Her cover went to number 1.
Okay.
"Tainted Love."
The original, if I may.
I didn't know that was a rewrite.
Soft Cell was the original.
Oh, good call, man.
Tainted Love, the cover.
Wow.
And if I may, the cover, very well done, in my opinion, Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm. "Tainted Love." That's a big one. The Fugees' "Killing Me Softly."
Yep.
Was more popular.
Yep.
There's
That's
just
a very well done. If you can, in your head, if you have that version of that they did a excellent job with that song.
Check this out. I did not know this. Cyndi Lauper's cover of "Girls Just Wanna Have Fun."
That's a cover?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Who's the original?
Robert Hazard wrote it.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is. But he wrote it.
How do you not know who that is?
I have no idea who it is. He must just be. He wrote it in 1979.
So what was that? What was her 84?
83.
Oh, boils.
But it may have hit the 84.
Moron.
That's good, though. That's close.
Well,
83, 84.
Right, idiot.
Give or take. No Doubt, "It's My Life." Don't remember that
I
one.
had no idea. Who originally did that? That doesn't even sound like a cover. I didn't know that was a cover.
By Talk Talk.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
And then
That's an 80s band. Go ahead. Sorry.
They are? Talk Talk is?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I never heard of them.
Yeah. If we probably don't pick up on it when we hear one of their songs, but kind of an 80s just an 80s style band. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
2 more here.
Mm-hmm.
Led Zeppelin's cover of "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You." I didn't know that was.
No idea.
Wow. First one that did it was Joan Baez. That's a weird mix there.
Mm-hmm.
But then number 9. Whoa, I did not know this.
Let's hear it, Producer Tony.
Otis Redding wrote the song "Respect."
RESPECT.
Yeah.
Find out what you mean to me.
Yeah. And Aretha Franklin
Nailed it.
Obviously, yeah. Took it supersonic.
Mm-hmm.
Took it to I think that song might be on that Voyager. Remember where they recorded artists and put them in there, and then they, aliens in space will find it someday.
In Peru?
Yeah, it didn't land in Peru.
Oh, okay.
That's been debunked. It's debunked, defunct, demufond. It's been demufond. And then
get your move phone.
Oh, here's a good one. And people forget about this. I forgot. I do know this. I did know this. Jimi Hendrix, "All Along the Watchtower."
Oh, the best version of that song.
People forget Bob Dylan was the original.
Yeah, that's been done quite a few times, right?
Dave Matthews does an incredible.
But he does to your point with that, and correct me if I'm wrong. The Dave Matthews version of that song is the Jimi Hendrix version of that. He's covering the Jimi Hendrix version. I think
that's what he's doing for sure. Yeah, he's not really. He's just add more instruments into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But to me, it sounds more like the
Hendrix version. Yeah.
Okay.
It would be. Yeah. Bob Dylan's version was a little slower, softer. But
There was a cover.
Yeah, he usually ends with that, man. Or not usually. Sometimes he does. It's huge.
There was a band I saw at the Melody Inn. I forget their name of them, but they did All Along the Watchtower, the Jimi Hendrix version of All Along the Watchtower. And I absolutely crushed it. I wish I could remember the name of the band that was there, but and the Melody Inn is super small. It is not much bigger than, the single floor of this house. It was so good.
Here's another one. Forgot about this one. Johnny Cash Hurt.
So 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, good call.
Boils from 3.
Boils from Deep. The Future Hounds.
So which would you pick? I would take
I'd take Johnny Cash.
I would take the cover.
You would 9 Inch Nails? Yeah, I like Johnny Cash.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the original.
I didn't know the original, unfortunately, and I like 9 Inch Nails.
Well, 9 Inch, yeah. And he did an excellent job. Yeah, so 9 Inch Nails was the original. Johnny Cash is the cover. My bad. I messed that up.
No, I thought you said that.
No,
they're the... Oh, yeah. Well, he did a cover for a bunch of bands that wrote songs on like a final album that he did. The Beatles, Twist and Shout.
I didn't.
The Isley Brothers wrote it.
Okay. So in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, what version is used? Is that the...
Oh, it's the...
is it the Beatles?
It's the Beatles version, yeah.
Okay.
Jeff Buckley, Hallelujah.
Okay.
Soft Cell's in this list again.
Which song this time?
Same one.
Oh.
Me and Bobby McGee.
Okay.
Janis Joplin. It was written by Roger Miller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. Dang.
Kim Carnes, Betty Davis
Eyes. Yeah.
You're all over it.
I'm out on the cover. Who covered it?
Donna Weiss. And Jackie Shannon wrote it. It doesn't say who covered it. Who was the original?
So then Kim Carnes was the cover?
Yeah, no, she's the remake.
That's what I meant. The cover.
Oh, the cover of the original, yeah.
That's what sorry.
Guns N' Roses, Live and Let Die. Obviously, that was
she definitely had that raspy. She was a raspy voice. Kim Carnes, like gargling razor blades and then singing.
Wonderwall. You're my Wonderwall.
Wonderwall? Is that what it is? By Oasis?
Yeah.
And are they the
No, it says Ryan Adams. Wonderwall. It might not be the same song.
I'm out on that.
There's Marilyn Manson again, Sweet Dreams.
And a very well done cover, I think. Do you... I was a big Marilyn Manson guy.
Fleetwood Mac wrote Black Magic Woman and Santana took it to the moon. She's a black magic woman. I didn't know they did that. Anyways, there's some good stuff, man. Animals, House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
There is a house in New Orleans.
I'm glad we have day jobs.
Manfred Mann's Earth Band, Blinded by the Light. Now, this is a good one.
ELO, is ELO the cover? Who's the cover?
Manfred Mann was the one who covered it.
Oh, but then...
Blinded by the Light was, man, this is a good story. Blinded by the Light was written by Bruce Springsteen, and he was a struggling writer at the time. He was broke, and he sold the song, and he always wished he would have kept that one.
So Manfred Mann is the cover. I'll be darned.
Many attempts to cover The Boss. Few succeeded, but Manfred Mann and his Earth Band did Bruce Springsteen justice in their rather groovy cover of Blinded by the Light.
Okay.
It's a great song.
Oh, yeah.
Very it's a great song.
It is.
Right. Yeah, so here's a band you like. Clash. I Fought the Law, and the Law won.
Clash. Yeah. Did the Clash sing... is that Rock the Casbah? Did they do Rock the Casbah?
I think they did. Let's see here. Let me look it up.
And I put my computer away already. My Commodore 64.
The Clash. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
The Clash.
Yep.
Man, that's cool. Bjork. It's So Quiet. It's So Quiet.
A talent. I mean, yeah, Bjork was definitely... Well, you don't hear. I haven't heard that name in, gosh, forever. Bjork.
You could probably put a lot of Zeppelin songs on here, really.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that came on again. That's interesting, though. Good
That
stuff,
is
man.
interesting, man. That's really interesting.
Super Bowl. I was off on that. Jeez.
Did your team win this year? Did you pick it correctly or did you not?
It didn't matter to me. No, I thought Baltimore was going to go, and I was hoping Baltimore and the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And it did really bother me. I mean, it's hard to beat Patrick Mahomes, man. When you give him a minute left with the ball and he can beat you in the game, it just was so silly, the whole thing. You wanted to talk about that. I know you want to talk about the All-Star, but what did you think about the news saying that the 49ers didn't know the overtime rules?
Didn't.
You didn't hear about that?
I did.
Oh, you did?
And they didn't know them.
Okay.
Because you don't fuck up, excuse my language. What the fuck? You don't mess up in a situation like that. You did not know what the rules were.
Yeah, they wouldn't have took the ball, right?
Yeah. Is that a fireable offense? If you were...
He got fired.
He did get...
He was fired yesterday.
Oh, he should.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
You mean things happen when I go to bed?
Hey, yeah. When your work, Dave, your work hours, yeah. That would be weird because you could actually be awake and then have breaking news in the morning, right? Let me look it up here.
Seriously, got fired yesterday.
Here we go.
That isn't that do you think he knew the rules, or do you think he didn't know the rules, or what?
Let me make sure. Let me make sure because I caught this.
We may have just
news. Let me make
that was not factual, which is probably typical for this piece of poop podcast.
Okay, I was wrong. Okay. Head coach Kyle Shanahan announced Wednesday that defensive coordinator Steve Wilks has been relieved of his duties. So they fired their defensive coach.
Which had nothing to do with
whether
you knew the overtime rules
or
not.
Right. And he did pretty good most of the game.
So let's discuss that then. Yeah. I mean, it's not just you. You have a booth full and you have multiple people around you that are supposed to know what the rules are.
Yeah.
You did not know. You absolutely
Let me ask you this. Did you know the rules?
Oh, hell no.
Because I didn't either.
Yeah.
I thought but I knew once they said they changed them. Then I was cued in that, well, okay, they're not going to get the ball back.
Right.
Whoever takes the lead on their possession, whether it's field goal, touchdown, is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Then it's surprising that maybe the overtime rules. I guess I don't know. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
Does
this put Reed and Mahomes in the GOAT category?
Oh,
even though I think that's
I think Andy Reid was already there.
I think the GOAT is overused.
I think Andy Reid was already there. But yeah, like Patrick Mahomes is still young.
Hall of Famers for sure.
Oh man. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is definitely going on. I mean, I think, okay, let me ask you this.
Travis Kelce's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No doubt. But let me ask you this though. And maybe you would. If you could take any quarterback in the NFL all throughout the history of NFL, who would you take? If you're going to right now, I got to have a quarterback. Who are you going to take? Would it necessarily be Tom Brady? I don't think so. Right? I mean, so are we stupid when we say, well, we wouldn't take Tom Brady because he won 6-7 Super Bowls, or would he not win those on other teams?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's
because Elway comes to my mind. Like, I would like to have John Elway because he can do everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
How could you not want Joe Montana?
Mm-hmm.
But then are we stupid for saying, well, dude, Brady threw for the most. Brady's, you know what I mean? But he also played the longest. He also had Hall of Famers all around him.
Is Lamar Jackson that new guy? Is Lamar Jackson
for the
Just wondering.
I would have said so until the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He just looked like, I think he was the best quarterback during the regular season, beyond a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But in the playoffs, he was like the worst. Like, remember the times he could have ran and he decided to throw, and it's like, dude, you can run, like you're a runner. But yeah, I mean, I think what he doesn't have, which is what Mahomes has, is the constant presence and feel of what's going on, right? Like, and lucky for Mahomes, he can be in trouble and just dink it to Kelce, right?
Sure.
So yeah, but see, I would take Gronk over Kelce on my tight end because Gronk's going to block. He's one of the best blocking tight ends in history. But and I like his personality better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a good question though.
I'm not sure either. So I'm going to put you in the center. You're Andy Reid. You're the coach, and Travis Kelce does that to you. What do you do?
I think there's something done about it. Absolutely.
All right. Let me ask it this way.
I think if you're the owner of the team, you do something about it too.
Let me ask it this way. In real time, what do you do?
Probably sit him down. He doesn't go in for a while.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I do not disagree with that at all.
Because if that would have been wouldn't have been Kelce,
yeah.
I don't know if he gets in the game.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would.
It's just the way it goes. It's the way it normally goes.
You are not going to dictate what I'm doing. Sit the fuck.
Right.
Sorry.
And I thought about that because maybe he didn't have him in he's got to save some energy. It's going to be a close game. Everybody's jacked up. You're going to waste the most energy probably in that game, right? Be the most drained. You should be. It's the Super Bowl. So you would think that maybe I think he was mad because he didn't get in any block on that play, and the second tight end was in. Then there was a penalty call too, and but it's like, man, I don't know. I guess if you're Kelce though, and you feel that way, you probably go through your offensive coach, and you know what I mean, and you do it that way because now here's what I'm worried about, David. Here's what I'm worried about. Okay, and I know you've got the same concern. I can see it in your eyes, brother. You're worried about if he gets mad at Taylor, what happens?
Who?
I mean, if Taylor pops up with a black eye,
Taylor Dane,
we know who gave it to her.
Taylor Dane,
right?
We were talking about her earlier.
No,
not her.
No, you know what I'm talking about. She shows up with a black eye. What's your first thought? Kelce got in her face, right? Something happened. Something happened. Mm-hmm. So I mean that I'm joking, but
It's a long drive home.
Some of her friends are telling her they're worried about Kelce's. Oh my god!
I think that she has.
I hated that whole damn thing.
I think that she has. I have people money, so you put one hand on me.
Well,
and I got people money.
Well,
somebody's gonna pay you a visit.
Well, it's like I just seen it in the news. It's like Madonna out there shaking her booty at 90 years old. It's like Taylor's not up there yet like that, but you're 34, girl. You're getting up there, right? And it's like it's just this little kiddie music stuff. It's like high-end middle school music or something. It's like, oh my god, dude.
Right.
But and is she that hot?
I don't know, but should somebody though should somebody's attractiveness be based on their? I mean, we're ugly dudes. I don't know how to. I try not to even. If I'll say this, if she walked up right now, I would have no idea who she was. I don't even have it. I have zero clue of who. I don't. If we heard a song, if you played a song right now, or if we were somewhere in a whatever, and it was her music, I wouldn't know it was her. I have zero knowledge, other than this year's Super Bowl stuff. I wouldn't know her. I don't. I just not.
Well, I can just remember watching. You're going to know her based on it was just here's a throw to Kelce, nice catch, and then here's a shot of Taylor up in the press booth, freaking jumping up and down with her peeps,
right?
And it's like, man, why am I seeing this? I just want to see the football game.
I got you.
Did you hear about the Kansas City Chief player or fans that died? Have you followed that story at all?
A little bit.
That's
not
weird, man.
I don't.
It's a weird story.
Not enough to really. Yeah, I don't. Not enough to make a comment. Probably. Yeah. I don't know that much about it. I heard it happened, and I don't know. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I don't think I know enough to make a comment. So, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But it is All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis.
All-Stars.
The upcoming game, the up-and-comers game or whatever was last night. Indiana Pacers. Benedict Mathurin was the MVP. Had 22 points and put on a pretty good show in front of the home crowd. And I think somebody like Benedict Mathurin is definitely a good get for the Pacers and could be that potential number 2 guy on the team, for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's my opinion. Maybe not. But.
Man, I have to go with you with NBA. I just don't follow it, man.
Yeah, I'm not.
I just don't follow it like I used to.
And I really don't follow the NFL that much. I'm more, like we've talked in the past, I'm more of a college sports guy versus a pro sports person. But to each their own or whatever. I will say it was good to see Caitlin Clark broke the women's scoring record.
Talented girl, man.
I hope she comes out and plays professionally this season. That would be a huge get.
Is she a junior?
She's a senior.
Well, she would have to, right? We think she'll do something else?
No, due to the COVID year thing,
she's got another year. No way.
Don't get me going. Yeah.
There was
Did you see that? Did you see that Cheryl Swoops interview?
No.
Where she completely gave false information about Caitlin Clark, saying she was 25 and she's already played 5 years, and she'd be like, "You are completely wrong. Know your stuff.
Yeah.
No, you don't get on there and spout whatever."
I think there's some jealousy going on.
But then also the host, I think this was who was the Washington Wizards, Gilbert Arenas. It was his podcast, and nobody on that show made the effort to correct. I'm like, no, make it right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope she comes out. It'd be huge for the Fever if she came out. In the city of Indianapolis and women's basketball in general. So
she's damn good, man.
Yeah, we'll see. How would you stay? Everybody's like, she can make more money in college. Well, whatever.
When I was in the military, I came home, and our school had a high school all-state girls basketball player who I was friends with. So I hadn't played basketball forever, dude. And I was like, man, there's no girl beating me, dude. Like, I was pretty good. I'm like, she's not beating me one-on-one. So we just played horse, right, first. And it was like, then we were going to do some like one-on-one stuff. She's about my height and a little bit taller. And after the game of horse, I didn't want to play her one-on-one, dude. She was like making everything. She ended up going to like Illinois State playing. But yeah, this Caitlin girl, what made me think of that was, I was thinking, man, you really think if you were 100% 18, she could probably beat a lot of boys, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's, I don't think that's normal. I think she could probably beat. So like the girls Olympic team in soccer. Mm-hmm. You ever heard this story? They played a men's high school team and got their butt kicked.
The Olympic women?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Because they always do these training things before they go to the Olympics. They played a high school team in Texas and got their butt kicked. Mm. But I don't think, and basketball might be different though, but man, you just think like that team is, I just don't see a lot of people that could defend her.
I've been to some Marion women's game, and the Marion women's basketball, they're, by the way, ranked number 2 in the nation. Uh-huh. And yeah, all of them would whoop my ass.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Even in the day.
Seriously.
With your long hair?
I didn't have long. I didn't have. I don't hope there are no pictures surfacing.
Oh, I got to get one from Tracy.
Jeez. Oh, that's embarrassing. Yeah, I hope Caitlin Clark comes out and makes it an impact on the WNBA. I think that would be, especially for the city in Indianapolis, that would just be huge for that franchise.
It would be a fan. I mean, hell, I'd probably go see him then. Mm-hmm. Right?
I've been. It's been a long time. I've been. Tamika Catchings was an awesome WNBA player for the Fever. Made an impact. I would put her, and we've talked about this, on my Mount Rushmore of Indianapolis athletes. Yeah, that's awesome.
The Mount Rushmore of Indianapolis athletes.
So for those of you listening, I'm going to switch gears up here a little bit. On March the 16th, we are doing a show from the Great Divide. They're actually open that day. They open at 11 a.m. We're going to start our podcast about 10:30 that morning. Those of you listening that want to stop by, you're more than welcome. It'd be great to have Bill and Jeremy and everybody that's kind of the normal, Nolan in that group. Everybody come by. You're more than welcome. They're open for business that day at 11. That'll be the first weekend of the tournament. It's also St. Patty's Day weekend. Stop by. Love to see you. Great to have you, and get on here and just kind of shoot the poo about stuff. So it's March the 16th, Great Divide.
When you have shit in the tournament start?
Yeah, that should be the first weekend of the tournament.
Yeah, first week of the tournament.
Should be.
It's kickoff of college Batman, which is a great time. I haven't been watching any of that either.
That will also be right, kind of grand reopening for the Great Divide right in that area. I mean, they're going to be closed for a couple weeks for a remodel. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll have some food going.
Purdue's ranked number 2 in the nation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we'll lose in the first round of the college NCAA tournament.
Well,
hey, we're here.
Yep.
No, you're not.
Yep.
Isn't that sad?
I would rather be ranked 9th or 10th than 2nd.
I know.
You know, you gotta, it's what you do in March.
Right.
Where you're at now isn't, anyway. Yeah, I almost got beat by Northwestern twice.
I know. I just saw that. Yeah, 105-96. That's a good game by Northwestern.
That was in overtime, right?
Yeah.
Northwestern beat them earlier in the year at Northwestern.
Yeah, here's the, where's that at? It's the Big Ten. I was looking for the Big Ten standings there. But, yeah, I didn't know they were ranked number 2. Jeez.
Yep.
Nice.
Is Kansas one?
UConn's one.
Sorry.
Yeah, UConn is 1. Purdue, Houston, Marquette, Arizona. Kansas is 6th. UNC, Tennessee, Duke. Iowa State is number 10. Wow, that's wild. Illinois is 14th. Wow.
Okay.
Dayton, number 16.
The
brother. Dayton Flyers.
The Dayton Flyers.
Yeah, love me some Dayton Flyers.
Dayton Flyers.
What's it? Something historical.
Is that
about
a Big East team in basketball? Probably. I'm guessing. Maybe not. I think they are. No? I don't know.
The way they do these conferences, now I can't remember. They play Fordham, VCU, Loyola. Yeah, Big East. Let me check that out real quick.
Maybe not. Just for whatever reason, because I think they're in the same conference as Butler, and I think Butler plays Big East in basketball. Or is it Athletic 10 or 8?
Okay, the Big East they are not in. You're right. Butler's in that. Villanova, Xavier, St. No, they're not in that one. They're not in the Big 12. Maybe.
Wait, Athletic
Athletic 10.
Okay.
Athletic. Yeah, A10. Yeah. Oh, wow. Dayton. Loyola's having a great year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, some of your smaller schools in there, but yeah, Dayton. Man, Dayton's 20-4.
Okay.
Doesn't look like they can win on the road though.
Mm-hmm.
They lose all their games on the road.
Mm.
Anyway, not all of them, but it's the only time they lose is when they're on the road. Interesting. Cool. That'll be a good time that's always a good time of the year, right?
Yeah, that's probably the best time of the year.
I think so, yeah. Because spring's coming and weather's
Spring
changing.
training games are going on.
Baseball.
The tournament. Nobody's working that Friday. Yeah. I mean, especially St. Patty's Day this weekend's 3 days, because St. Patty's Day is on Sunday. And you're not going to party you're not going to be Irish on Sunday. Saturday you will.
Yeah, it's on Saturday, David.
Friday you will. Saturday. Friday and Saturday, yeah, but Sunday, yeah.
Well, you be careful going home today, brother.
Producer Tony, I appreciate you having me in. Those of you listening, again, if you can make it out to see us on March the 16th at the Great Divide. Again, they open at 11:30. We should be up and going by 10:30. You're welcome to stop by. Hopefully we can get the cast of normals in there. Jeremy, Bill, Nolan, Francois has already made a point that he's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So
we saw a script.
Maybe we might see our first Sean appearance. I got a health update on him yesterday, and he's doing really, really well.
Good.
I hear that he sounds normal, and
awesome,
the
man.
projection is that he will be
full recovery.
close. Yeah,
Wow.
right in that area. So hopefully we can get a Sean appearance.
That's nice.
It would be super cool to see him.
Yeah.
We've been without him since the end of December. So if we can, so we'll see. If you can stop by, it'd be great to see you. Producer Tony, much appreciated having us in on this beautiful Saturday morning. Be safe, everybody out there driving. It's a little treacherous today. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Smash that like button, click subscribe, give us a thumbs up. You guys are the best.
You're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast, episode 129. Have a good weekend.